Welcome to the Hickory Academy of Martial Arts Leadership Podcast. I am your host, Joshua Page, and for the past 20 years, I've been the head instructor here at the Hickory Academy of Martial Arts for our karate and jiu-jitsu program. And today I just wanted to share some things that we talk about with our leaders on the mat, whether they're assistant instructors or instructors, and just some things that they can do and I can do to be better leaders and lead the people around us more effectively. And of course, we lead by improving our own lives, so some things we can do to improve ourselves so we can be able to improve others. And decided to make it available to anybody because whether you realize it or not, everyone is a leader. Whether it's you're leading a large corporation, or it's a small home, or you have a brother or sister, or just somebody at school that looks up to you, you probably don't even realize it. There's a lot more people that look up to you and you're following your example than you would think. So this is for you. Take the things that you like and implement them into your life. Hopefully improve yourself, improve others, improve your community, and even write down the stuff that you don't like, because you might come back to it later and it might be something that changes your life or you get some value out of it. So today we're talking about a personal accountability checklist, and this is something we go over with our instructors here at the Academy. We should have a personal accountability checklist, some things that we think about daily and try and do daily to enrich our lives and to make us a better leader, right? So number one, and it's very simple: if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good, right? So your appearance. Right now I got a brand new uniform right out of the bag and it's looking good and I feel good, right? And you do too. If you come into class and your uniform is all disheveled, if it's got stains on it, if it's got rips in it, or it smells bad, which is like the cardinal sin for jiu-jitsu, right? You're gonna feel a certain way. If you try and go to school in your pajamas, it might be comfortable, but you're not going to be in the mindset of someone who's going to school. We have some great local schools here, private schools, that make you wear a uniform, and I love it. We see the kids come in with their khaki pants and their tucked in shirt and their collared little polos, and I think that's great. I think that really kind of puts you in the mind of being at school, right? If you are working somewhere and you come in, your uniform's all crazy, your name tag is all sideways, you're going to feel a certain way, and you're probably going to perform a certain way. So your performance can be affected, and your mindset can be affected simply by what you have on and how you have it on, how you're wearing it, right? So number one is your uniform. Whatever that uniform is, make sure it's clean, squared away, and it's ready for action. Number two, that goes really closely with that, is your personal hygiene. Especially here on the jiu-jitsu mat, fingernails and toenails must be squared away. I don't want to turn my face too much and show you, but I've got a pretty gnarly scar underneath my eye from a training partner not trimming their toenails. They just spun around to show me something, and their toenail was just eagle taloned my face open, and I had to use liquid bandage. If you've ever done jiu-jitsu or karate or any kind of martial arts, you're probably familiar with liquid bandage. I had to liquid bandage my eye together to keep the skin, from getting infected and all that kind of stuff. And so your fingernails, your toenails, your body, especially if you're going to be in any kind of grappling sport, you need to be clean. Take a shower. Make sure your uniform is clean. Don't just put it in the back of your car and leave it in the sun, basically baking for days and days, and then come back in and expect to slip back into that uniform and train. Your training partners are not going to appreciate it, and you're not going to appreciate it either, especially if you start passing out skin infections. You're going to be not well received at the academy, right? And again, when you smell good, when your uniform's clean, when it's fresh out of the laundry and you put it on, it makes you feel a certain way, right? So make sure that you are looking good, smelling good, and your uniform's squared away. That's the basics. That's the very basic. Just like being on time doesn't mean you show up, if your work starts at 5, it doesn't mean you show up at 5, it means you're there 15 minutes early. It's those little baseline things you can do to really improve your performance and how you feel and how the people around you perceive you and treat you, right? So that's number one. Number two is we want to make sure that when we come to work, that when we go to play a sport, or we're at school, we're in a relationship, we want to kind of be monitoring ourselves on a scale between 1 and 10. Coach Tom Callis, who's a great martial arts coach, would always have talk about having a 1 to 10, rate yourself 1 to 10, where you're at right now, and if it's not a 10, how can you get there, right? And it's really great advice, right? So if you rate yourself 1 to 10, what's my energy level, what's my focus level, what's my output, my effort level I'm giving to the class right now, how do I need to change that? Am I at a 10? Am I at a 7? Am I at a 6? Am I at a 5? And why? people can see that. People can see when you're having a rough day, but they can also see when maybe you are having a rough day, you're a little banged up, but you're still doing your best, right? Every time you're teaching might not be your the world champion level class that you're teaching, but if you're giving it everything you have in the moment, right? If you're always trying to raise your level, the people around you are going to see that and they're going to respond, right? If you bring energy, they're going to bring energy. If you don't believe me, for a martial arts specific example, if the instructor comes in wearing a blue uniform, in a couple weeks you're going to see students wearing blue uniforms, right? If you're the boss at the bank and you start coming in with your shirt untucked and you're wearing a t-shirt, in a couple weeks, you're going to see people coming in that work for you with their shirt untucked, probably stains on it, whatever. And or if you come in late, watch your employees come in late. Whatever it is, whatever you model, that's the behavior they're going to pick up. So if you're modeling that level 10, they're going to rise to your example. If you're modeling that level 2, they're going to fall to your example, right? So make sure you're monitoring yourself 1 out of 10, right? Other thing we can do as a leader is make sure that we are getting up early, right? Leaders get up early. We've got a lot of things to do. We've got a lot of people to invest in. So that means we need to invest in ourselves, first thing. For me personally, when I get up early, that's 5 o'clock, so I can get to the track by 5:30, meet my friends and go for a jog, or go straight downstairs and get some weights going. That, for me, if I can knock that out first thing in the day, I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. So that frees me up to plan. That frees me up to come by the school and get things ready, or to call people back, or whatever those things are. And I know you have your specific list, whatever that list is, but it frees you up. You invest in yourself first so you can invest in other people later. Right? And it's also going to put you in a great frame of mind. If you get up and you get moving, whatever that is, a walk, a run, a row, a swim, lifting weights, a cardio class, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever it is, if you can invest in yourself early in the morning, it's going to profoundly affect the rest of your day. It really kind of gets you started on the right foot. Getting a win very first thing, super, super important. So make sure you're getting up early and you're taking advantage of that time. Think about this. If you get up just an hour earlier every day, if you're getting up at 7, now you get up at 6. By the end of the day, you've got that extra hour that you got to use, right? By the end of the week, get those 7 hours. By the end of the year, think about how many hours extra you've got. If you could get around 300 or 300 plus extra hours a year, imagine how much farther along you could be on whatever it is, whether that's jiu-jitsu, whether that's karate, speaking a foreign language, school, whatever it is. Imagine how much farther you could be if you had extra 300 plus hours over your competition or over yourself, right? You add that to what you're already doing. So huge, huge, huge. Even if it's an hour, if it's 30 minutes, whatever it is, wake up early and get your body moving. Get a sweat going before anybody else is awake, and you're going to feel great about yourself, and you're going to have time to invest in others, right? The other thing is, when you're a leader, 24/7 accountability. I want you to think about 24/7, wherever you're at, even if you're on vacation 3,000 miles away, you still need to be a great example of how to behave, as a person, as a leader, as a coach, or whatever it is. You need to make sure you're on point, because no matter how far away you are, there's always going to be that person that pops up and goes, "Oh, I know that person. I've seen that person," and you want them to catch you being good, right? We talk about it with the kids and our kids' classes all the time. You want your parents to catch you all the time. You want them to catch you being good all the time, right? We've all been caught being bad. Nobody's perfect, and neither am I. But imagine how great it feels when somebody catches you doing the right thing. And that's what we're going for as a leader. I always want my students to catch me doing the right thing. Before class, am I on my phone? Am I stretching, getting ready? During class, am I just doing the bare minimum to get through, or am I giving my best effort? After class, am I asking good questions? Am I checking in with people? Am I giving that little bit of extra instruction? Or am I goofing off and being lazy? What's the example that I'm giving continually, 24/7? If you see me out, with my family, am I being a good husband, a good father, whatever that is? Try and be accountable for that 24/7. Another thing I want to add real quick, I know we're getting ready to wrap this up. I wanted to thank you guys for tuning into our first episode, and I hope you tune into some more. If there's things that you'd like us to add or topics you'd like us to cover about leadership, please put in the comments or send us a message. But last thing I wanted to say for you guys for your personal accountability checklist is read. If you're getting up early now, right? So you got a couple minutes. Read 10 pages a day. Huge difference by the end of the year. Readers make great leaders, and leaders are always readers, right? So make sure you're reading, make sure you're investing in yourself. And it doesn't matter, I don't care what it is, as long as you're reading, you're stimulating your brain a little bit. So just to recap, for our personal accountability checklist, this is like the baseline for leaders. And number one, make sure that you are looking good. Make sure you're squared away with your hygiene. Make sure you're 24/7 example. Make sure that you're always rating yourself between 1 and 10, and invest in yourself a little bit. Read, right? These are just a couple basic things you can do to get yourself prepared for the rest of the lessons we're going to do. But if you just do these things, you're going to be a much better leader than maybe you are presently, and your life is going to change dramatically. I promise you, in a year, if you do these couple little things, you're going to see a great improvement, and hopefully in your quality of life and the quality of your influence over other people. So thanks again. Please subscribe and be a part of our community, and I'll see you guys on the mat soon. Thank you.